The U.S. demand for renewable energy is on the rise, and the future of solar power seems bright. Yet most minorities aren't connected to this growth industry. Today, a former NBA player is helping close that gap. Washington Full Circle starts right now. Welcome to Washington Full Circle. I'm Furman Patterson. The solar industry is growing nearly 12 times faster than the overall economy. And no one knows that more than NBA player turned entrepreneur Mark Davis. As owner of the nation's first African-American owned solar panel installation company, he's connecting minority communities to this green economy. Mark Davis is founder and CEO of WDC Solar and is with us today in our studios. One of the company's young trainees, Ramo Herbert, is also here. Thanks to you both for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us.
Now, I mentioned NBA player. What catapulted you from being a former ball player to the green industry?
Well, there was some time in between that, but eventually getting into the green industry was easy for me. Really bought into the president when he was campaigning the first time around. Understood that there would be opportunity here for someone who really wanted to get in on the renewable side of things, take a company, find its niche, and grow it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mentioned NBA player. Tell them who you played for those out there who don't know.
Yeah, I've seen stories and they said I was an NBA star. Nothing of the sort. Want to make that very clear. But we did have a short stint here with the Washington Bullets and also with the Chicago Bulls.
Right.
And very exciting. Spent 3 years playing in Europe, so got a chance to spend a lot of time in Switzerland and Belgium and those countries and see and understand their culture a little bit better, helped me to understand my culture here and appreciate it a lot more.
Now, WDC Solar started in Southeast Washington, is that correct?
That is correct. We started in beautiful downtown Anacostia, right across the bridge there. And so now we have offices in New York, and about to open an office in Atlanta as well, and Baltimore.
So things are growing.
Things are moving, and the low-income program is really catching on. That's a program that we started here in the District of Columbia. Our low-income program is designed to train young men and women in the community to do this work. So,
like Ramo here.
Like Ramo here, who's a fine example of that.
Yeah. So Ramo, tell us what you do, what you're learning at WDC Solar.
What I've learned at WDC Solar is all about solar. Like most of the standpoints of solar, like how to install, like what are the components of the system that you're putting up, and also like what they produce towards your bills at the end of the month.
Now, prior to this training job, did you know anything about solar panels and what they did?
Before I came to the program, the only thing I knew about solar panels was that they collect sun. That was it.
That they collect sun, okay.
That's all I knew. All
right. So what does the process involve as far as bringing these young people there and getting them to work?
So the last two groups we had came from Department of Employment Services. Mm-hmm. So they will go through a vetting process there, and then they'll come to our office and we'll interview them. And for those candidates that we choose to get into the program, they will then come to our office every day from 9 to 5, and we will have some type of structured training. We have a curriculum that is certified by the Department of Labor that I created, mm-hmm. Along with some very close friends of mine. And we wanted to create a curriculum that the average 8th, 9th grader could come in, comprehend, understand, and have hands-on also, mm-hmm. because a lot of people learn in different ways. Some people you know, they take the hands-on and they can do that once, twice, 3 times, and they're able to repeat that. So we want to make sure that we get them properly trained so that they understand how to handle electricity safely, understand how to operate safely on a roof, how to use a harness, how to tie off a ladder,
how to get over your fear of heights.
Get over your fear of heights. Believe it or not, that's the number one. That's the first question that we ask, because a lot of people are afraid of heights. But we also have the sales side of things that individuals can go into as well.
Raymond, what was the most challenging part of learning this craft and how to install the panels for you?
The part that took me the longest to like understand was how to wire the inverter, because like the rails and the panels not that hard. But when it comes to hooking them panels up and putting them to the junction box that goes down to the inverter, that gets hard and it confuses you with a lot of different wires.
Is there a lot of heavy lifting?
Not really. Like if you can carry 60 pounds, you'll be okay.
Oh, there's much more to talk about and about minorities coming into the business, but stay put. We'll be right back with more of Washington Full Circle and our focus on solar connections when we return. Welcome back to Washington Full Circle. As the economic potential of greening the country continues to grow, a so-called green gap separates minorities from this industry boom. WDC Solar is helping change all that, and Mark Davis is one of the people behind it. Now, I've been reading a lot that minorities haven't been quite involved as much as they should be in this growth industry. Why do you think that is?
Primarily because of training. Initially, when I got trained, it was about $3,500, and I had to go out to California to get trained. So that's one barrier right off the bat that's going to kind of like keep us out, in my opinion.
Well, who did the training for you? Who conducted it?
Yeah, it was a company called Boots on the Roof in Fremont, California, and they have a couple of companies out there that are NAPCEP certified, if you will, and they provide these training courses for individuals around the country. I think that is the number one barrier. We look at the numbers on the solar jobs, and last year they added 35,000 new jobs, and African Americans were the only ethnic group to really experience negative job growth in the industry.
Really?
Yes. So that's an issue that we try and address through our training program. Our low-income solar program have 3 basic parts. One is community workshops, where we get out in the community, we have workshops, and we want to educate the community as to the benefits of solar energy so that they can become a part of this green revolution and benefit from it from that point of view. And the training, as I mentioned, and then we have a model that allow us to install solar on low-income family homes at no cost to the resident.
At no cost?
At no cost. So this is a subsidized program, of course, but we mix public funds with private funds in order to make up that gap so that we can get this done at no cost. And that really has helped us to penetrate wards like 7 and 8 where we did not have great penetration from the solar side.
So, Ramo, you're a man on the roof out there, so you've installed some of these panels. So you're out there dealing with some of these homeowners. What's been the response after you guys finish the job?
Most of the responses are usually, "Thank you so much. You don't know how this is going to help me."
Yeah.
That's usually the normal response.
So do people recognize you now as oh, that guy that installs solar panels?
I know for a fact this one lady recognized me. 'Cause I was walking down Minnesota Avenue, and I know for a fact that I did a house around there. And I seen her. She was like, "Wasn't you the guy that installed the solar on my roof?" So you and the other guy. I was like, "Yeah, that was me."
Yeah.
So now I just walk around trying to find solar systems I put up.
Yeah. Man, so they must be ticking up by now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested in that partnership with, is it local and federal government, the grants to do that type of thing, installing for free to low-income housing?
Right, yes. We work very closely with DC Department of Energy and Environment. I think they're now DOEE,
right.
Previously DDOE. Yeah, but we work very closely with them, great group of guys over there. And that is, you know, we're expanding that low-income program. We also just won a contract along with a couple of other partners to install solar on schools in DC. And that's coming from Department of General Services.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Chambers is really doing a great job over there, spearheading that, making sure that the work is done, and also making sure that minorities are included in this work, because this is the District of Columbia, and we want to make sure that we have a diverse workforce, mm-hmm. and that we get this work done and done in the right way. And I think from the mayor on down, we have great support, and it's all about improving the environment in which we live. Definitely. And this is definitely going to help us achieve those goals. It's going to, you know, we're doing the schools now, and hopefully we'll come back and do government buildings later and continue. I know the president wants to do 30 megawatts on HUD-owned homes, and we're working on that formula right now to make sure we get that done. We have some of those projects in the works. So.
Excellent. Well, speaking of the president, you were the guest of the president fairly recently. Tell us what that was all about.
Well, we were recognized for our work in the industry, primarily the low-income side, and our efforts in training and trying to make sure that we have a diverse workforce. And it's very nice to be recognized for your work, and especially on that level. And so a lot of things were going through my mind on that night, being the first African-American president, and coming from South Georgia, and a lot of emotion there, and then just being recognized for the work that we're doing here. It was, I felt good.
Not everyone gets to be a guest at the State of the Union address by invitation of the president, but congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. President.
Stay put, we still have a lot to talk about.
Yep.
One company's mission to connect solar energy growth with minority participation. More when Washington Full Circle returns. Welcome back to Washington Full Circle and our discussion on solar connections. Now, aside from DC, you've also expanded WDC Solar training programs for other cities. Is that correct?
That is correct. We recently finished a training session in New York, Harlem. A great group of guys there that we trained at the community college, great location. And afterwards, we did go down and got some hands-on experience, got the guys hands-on. Ramo came up from DC, so he was up in Harlem and
doing a little traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so got the system installed, got those guys up there to handle panels, to understand, you know, and it's a great group of guys. And these guys, by the way, are going to start work in a couple of weeks installing solar on schools in New York.
Wow.
So they go from unemployed to soon they'll have a job installing solar panels on the schools there and their community.
Now, I hear this industry, jobs in this industry, being described as green-collar jobs. Why is it important, so important that minorities get their feet in as soon as possible?
It's important because the last thing we want to do is to wake up, look around, and all this work has been done, and only 5% of us were employed. So we need, in my opinion, the minority companies out there now who are doing this work need to come together to form some type of association so we will have a unified voice. Right now, when you have one company complaining over here, another company complaining over there, there's no unity, there's no strength, and we want to join forces, and there's enough work out for all of us. But I definitely feel, and a lot of other companies feel the same way, that we need more diversity in this market.
Mm-hmm. Now, I also hear an expression bandied about environmental justice, and I think that deals with low-income communities being exposed to pollution from different types of energy, but that solar panels are like the answer to that. But talk a little bit about that whole
right,
issue.
yes. So we do see a disproportionate number of minorities affected with asthma, a disproportionate number of facilities that burn coal, that dump things into our communities that are hazardous. So we see that on a lot of different fronts. Solar can help us because through the installation of solar panels and making DC less dependent on fossil fuels is going to improve our air, improve our environment. So just DC doing it alone is one thing, but we need our country to adopt these policies that are designed to advance solar industry, solar energy throughout the country. And I think we've seen that with this president. I've seen it with a couple of mayors here in the district. And the people are now starting to buy into this, and the minority community is starting to really buy into this as well. So I really think it's good what is happening now. We just need to make sure that we get people trained and we have a diverse workforce. Listen, I'm happy about what we've done in training. We have people now out there working for other companies. I saw one guy a couple of days ago, he came through a training program, got hired up by another company, and I saw him and he said, wow, thank you, Mr. Davis. I just got moved up to project manager. Now, this guy was, you know, unemployed. He came in, he got trained, he was focused, he wanted to do this, and he got a job, and now he's a project manager. It's just amazing. You know, and our kids, they want to work. They're smart. They're intelligent. They just need an opportunity to get out there, to get into the workforce and prove what they can do. And that's what I'm committed to giving them, is that opportunity.
So, Ramo, do you see this as a career for you?
Yeah, I think I look at this as a career for me and a stepping stone for me have my own company one day.
Ah, see what you're doing?
Great. Absolutely fantastic.
Now, Ramo, I understand that this idea of clean energy from solar panels is important to you because you have asthma issues and stuff like that?
Yeah, I have. I don't have it real bad, but I have some forms of bronchitis. Like it all depends on like the area I'm in, like whether I'm able to breathe right or not. That's why I believe that it's very important. Like solar energy is the new thing in the world.
So you're a walking salesman for this technology.
I'm a walking salesman.
So, Mr. Davis, where do you see the company in 3 to 5 years from
Expanded to multiple cities. So what we've done is WDC Solar, we have not gotten away with WDC Solar, but for the other cities we formed Interurban Solar. So Interurban Solar more clearly defined what we're about and what we're doing. So we have like to focus on urban areas, want to get people trained and want to have residents benefit from solar energy and a reduction in their energy cost each month.
Well, thank you so much for enlightening us. Hope to see you back again. Thanks to you, Ramo. That's it for Washington Full Circle. Thanks to our guests for joining us, and thanks to you for watching. We'll see you again next time.